The snow fell heavy all night, blanketing our little Maine town of Willow Creek in a hush so deep it felt holy. I stood by the frosted kitchen window, clutching a steaming mug of tea, watching January's first light scatter diamonds across the street. The quiet outside mirrored the stillness in my life since Henry walked out. My ex-husband left me and Daniel, my neighbor's boy, to carve out a new existence. Daniel was just 6 when Henry split, leaving us to stitch together a life from the scraps. It wasn't easy, but Daniel became my anchor, my joy, my everything. Now at 23, he was his own man, dreams too big for this sleepy town, his passion for photography, a fire that burned brighter than the winter cold. Footsteps thudded down the stairs, steady, sure, like Daniel himself these days. He strode into the kitchen, camera slung over his shoulder, bundled in a sweater and scarf, his smile warm enough to melt the frost. "Morning, Clara," he said, leaning to kiss my cheek, the stubble a sharp reminder of how much he'd grown. "Morning, sweetheart," I replied. "Where you off to so early?" "The lake," he said, eyes alight. "The light after a snowfall's perfect. Gotta catch it before it shifts." Pride swelled in my chest. He saw beauty where others saw nothing. "Need company?" I asked, surprising myself. I usually let him chase his art alone, but today something pulled me to join him. His eyes sparked with joy. "Really, you'd come?" I nodded, smiling. It's been ages since I saw the lake in winter. We bundled up against the cold and set out the air, biting the snow, crunching under our boots. The walk to the lake was short, but quiet thoughts swirling like the flakes around us. The sight at the shore stopped me cold. The sky, pale trees, bare the frozen lake, a mirror reflecting a world, untouched frost, glittering like jewels in the dawn. Daniel set up his camera, adjusting with a focus that made my heart ache. In his hands, I saw traces of Henry, not the man who left, but the dreamer I'd loved. "Clara," he called, snapping me back. His smile, soft head tilted. "You okay?" I brushed snow from my coat, just thinking. "You remind me of Henry when you work." He didn't flinch at the mention, though he rarely spoke of him. "You miss him?" he asked, voice gentle. I nodded. "Not like you'd think. I miss the family we were meant to have, but I'm okay with how things turned out. It gave me you." His gaze held mine, heavy with unspoken understanding. Then he set down his camera and hugged me, his warmth cutting through the cold. "I'm glad it's just us," he whispered. "Wouldn't change a thing." Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them away, whispering, "Me too." We lingered by the lake as the sun rose. Daniel, capturing every detail, the ice's gleam, ripples where water met shore, faint fox tracks through the trees. Watching him, I realized he wasn't just the boy next door anymore. He was a man, his dreams pulling him beyond Willow Creek, but our bond would hold no matter where he went. On the walk home, I smiled. Daniel promised me something. Always find the beauty in the world. We need more of that. His breath puffed in the air, his grin wide. "I won't stop, Clara. I promise." Back home, Daniel paused, a sly grin spreading. "You know why my photos haven't been hidden lately?" I raised an eyebrow, curious. He aimed his camera at me. "The best subject's been right in front of me." I laughed, brushing snow off. "Me, I'm hardly photogenic." He snapped a shot before I could protest. "That's where you're wrong. It's not about perfect skin, it's about touching someone's heart. And you're stunning." My cheeks burned, not from the cold, but from his words, raw and honest. "You've got a way with words," I teased, deflecting. He grinned. "That's part of my charm." We laughed all the way home, Daniel snapping photos, tossing out silly jokes only we'd get. By the time we reached the house, my face ached from smiling, the good kind of hurt. Inside, his boots thudded on the hardwood. "Can't wait to show you these," he said. I hung my scarf, teasing, "I'll approve them first." He shot me a look, half smirking. "Don't be surprised if they're better than you think." The house hummed with quiet as Daniel vanished into his work music drifting from his room, the faint click of his camera echoing. Next morning, coffee's aroma woke me, but I lingered under the blankets, reluctant to face January's chill. The door creaked, and Daniel stood there holding a tray coffee, a muffin with a candle, a small vase of flowers. "Happy birthday," he said, voice soft but brimming with love. My heart swelled, tears threatening as I sat up. "You didn't have to," I whispered. He set the tray on my lap. "Of course I did. You deserve it." He sat on the bed's edge, watching me sip coffee, blow out the candle, his presence making the day feel sacred before it began. Night fell, the house silent again. I curled up on the couch with a book, the quiet wrapping around me like a blanket. Near midnight, Daniel's footsteps broke the stillness. He entered the living room holding a sleek black box, his face unreadable but eyes alight. "One more birthday gift," he said. I set the book down, smiling. "Daniel, you've done enough today." "What's this?" He grinned, playful. "Open it and see." Inside, beneath tissue, was a black satin robe, soft as a whisper, and delicate lace lingerie. My breath caught, heart racing as I stared. "Daniel, this is—" My voice shook. He cut in, grinning. "There's more. Put it on and come upstairs, trust me." His excitement was infectious, but nerves twisted in my gut. I hesitated, then nodded, carrying the box to my room. Slipping into the robe and lingerie, the fabric cool against my skin, I felt alive, bold, like a woman I'd forgotten I could be. Upstairs, I pushed open his door. The room bathed in a sultry red glow from draped lamps, a silver pole gleaming in the center, faint mist curling from a smoke machine. A black leather cat mask sat on a table. Daniel held his camera, eyes warm. "You look incredible," he said, voice sincere, handing me the mask. "Put this on. It'll look amazing in the shots." I wavered, but his smile steadied me. "Just for fun," he urged. "You've always done so much for others. Let me do this for you." I took a deep breath, slipped on the mask, and stepped into the red light. Music pulsed, urging movement. At first I felt awkward, but Daniel's praise and laughter melted my nerves. He guided me gently, capturing moments that felt alive, electric. He lowered the camera, eyes intense. "You're a natural. I didn't know you had this in you." His honesty hit hard, and under the red glow, something shifted, not just a photo shoot, but a closeness I hadn't expected. I let go, moving with the music, the mist swirling, feeling a part of myself I'd buried resurface. Daniel paused, serious. "You're incredible, Clara. Where have you been hiding this confidence?" I laughed, shaking my head. "Hiding. This isn't my usual Thursday night," he grinned. "You're loving this more than you're letting on." He wasn't wrong, being seen like this was freeing, vulnerable, thrilling. A memory surged, one I hadn't touched in years. "You think this is something?" I teased, crossing my arms playfully. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "What else you hiding?" I slipped off the robe, revealing the lingerie. "I took high-heeled dance classes once. Still know a few moves." His eyes widened, stepping back as he raised the camera. "You gotta show me." I stepped to the pole, heart pounding, years melting away as muscle memory kicked in. Barefoot, I gripped the pole, climbing smoothly, spinning with a grace I didn't know I still had. The red light danced on the silver. My movements fluid, fearless flips, spins, a daring climb. When I landed, Daniel clapped, grinning wide. "Clara, that was unreal. Why didn't I know you could do that?" I shrugged. breathless, exhilarated. It was before you were around. Didn't think I still had it. Officially impressed, he said, pride softening his voice. He stepped closer, kissing my cheek, his warmth lingering. You're stunning tonight. His words hit deep, the moment raw, real. Thank you, I whispered, pulling the robe tight. The house felt still, the world outside irrelevant, our bond, a quiet force words couldn't touch. Daniel raised his camera. One last shot, just you and the pole, nothing fancy. His encouragement made it impossible to say no. I leaned against the pole robe, slipping slightly, meeting his gaze through the lens. The flash caught a moment I'd never forget. He lowered the camera, smiling. Perfect. You're perfect. I laughed. You're the sharpshooter here. He stepped closer, face softening. Maybe, but you're the real deal, Clara. Always have been. His words stopped me cold, the moment heavy with something unspoken, a rediscovery of our bond. The night wound down, laughter fading into quiet comfort. We shared late-night tea in the kitchen, the ease between us like coming home. In bed, my mind swirled joy, pride, and something darker, a flicker of guilt for how close we'd danced to a line I couldn't name. Daniel had given me something I didn't know I needed, a chance to feel alive again. Morning was too quiet. Daniel hadn't come downstairs, no coffee brewing, no camera clicks. A strange unease settled in. I climbed the stairs, pausing outside his room, hearing soft murmurs. I knocked lightly, calling Daniel. Pushing the door open, I froze. He sat on his bed, camera in hand, its screen glowing with last night's photos, me in the satin robe, mist curling, red light painting my silhouette. He spun, shutting it off, face flushed. Clara, I didn't hear you. I stepped inside, closing the door. It's okay, I said softly. Why'd you hide it? Let me see. He hesitated, ears red, gripping the camera tight. Didn't want it to be weird, he mumbled, handing it over. I flipped through the shots, each one a revelation, beauty, strength, softness I didn't know I had. Some showed me laughing, head thrown back. Others poised the red light, carving every detail. Daniel, I said, voice trembling, these are incredible. He looked up, hope mixing with worry. You mean that? I nodded, meeting his eyes. You're so talented. The way you see the world, see me, it's beyond words. He bit his lip, a shy smile breaking through tension, easing. I just wanted you to see how amazing you are, he said softly. To thank you for everything. I set the camera down, squeezing his hand. You've given me so much already. We sat in silence, the air heavy but warm, our bond unspoken but unshakable. I teased, You're blushing. He laughed, raking a hand through his hair. Didn't expect you to walk in. I handed back the camera. Don't be embarrassed, this is beautiful. I'm proud of you. His fingers brushed mine as he took it, holding it close. Thanks, Clara, he said, voice thick. I leaned in, kissing his cheek, his warmth grounding me. You've got a gift, I said, standing. Don't let anyone dim it. Leaving his room, closing the door, a wave of love and gratitude hit me sharp and sweet for the man he'd become and the bond we'd forged.